All right. So, where we last left you, you were in an alien device somewhere on Seku 6, which has reactivated and has a countdown.
Okay, do my scans reveal whether it's fully operational and just has a countdown, or has something else about it started? Is it still jamming our communications and stuff like that?
It is still jamming the communications, but it also is rapidly building up to explode based off your scans. You have about 6 minutes before it explodes.
Okay.
And you've seen this kind of buildup before. It's happened on multiple times. You've found these alien artifacts. It's the very same alien artifact as on the Navarian homeworld. It's the same alien artifact you experienced
with the Romulan ship.
With the Romulan ship. So you've seen this before, and it's building up, but you have experience with it.
All right. I'm just following Daxon's commands.
I jump on the consoles and see if this facility, because that's what this is really, has any way of generating new rifts.
No. This seems to be some sort of ancient power device.
Okay. So, and we're out of contact with the Vasquez, so we can't use the trick we used with the Navarians.
No.
Oh man. You said it's just building up a ton of power right now?
Yes.
Like it's just looped on itself? Okay. I quickly start scanning through the systems to reactivate whatever I can to start siphoning off some of the power that's building up to buy.
I will assist.
Okay. Well, we're going to do an extended task for this because I'm assuming. So that way you guys can kind of go through this. So the extended task, everyone can try to do something. Tell me what you want to do to try to help out, and I will give you guys a roll for it. Each attempt that you make, like each one attempt you make, will count as 1 minute. So you guys have 6 rounds before this thing goes up.
Okay. Yeah, so that first thing is I'm trying to activate as many systems as possible to draw some of this power that's building up to buy us more time.
Okay, give me a reason engineering, because you got to figure out, like, okay, which system does what and that kind of stuff. Just real quickly, like, hey, must be scanners. Let's turn that on.
I have to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna petition that reverse engineering applies.
Yes, I will say that. Difficulty 5.
Warfield dynamics, but I don't know.
No.
Difficulty 5.
It's difficulty 5, so you're gonna need some.
Oh, because it's an extended task, though.
Yes. So
we
each
have
attempt.
No momentum.
No.
Okay. I can't possibly get 5 on my own, but Dahl is helping.
Yeah, so Dahl will be able to help out. If any of the command crew or if the 2 commanders or Terzi want to try to do something to help out as well, they can.
I would actually like to figure out what the actual power generation system is and see if a command can be triggered to stop generating power.
Okay.
Instead of he's trying to siphon it off. I'm actually trying to shut it down instead of destroying it, or basically just say, "You stop that."
Okay. I'll count that as an assist for that.
Basically, yeah.
So you try to think of something you can do that with your own skills that might be able to assist Cole's stuff. So Terzi, think about what you can do that might be able to help out.
Well, he's trying to activate systems. I'm going to try and find out if there's any weapon systems, because those will tend to draw a massive amount of power. Plus, there might be a Romulan warbird up there that, would be a nice target for a weapon system.
Okay, so you're going to try to, like, activate any kind of weapon systems just to try to fire them off to use some of the enemies. Okay, so I'm guessing, so you can try to use, like, security and control for that one?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
That would
Unless
be
daring would count, since I'm like
yes.
going crazy with an.
I will say daring counts for this.
Okay.
So you give me a controlled daring, and for assist, do you guys want to do anything, Ba'ash and Sakir?
Looking at Chief Engineer Daxon Cole, what does his mental state look like at the moment? Like, is he stressed? Is he like?
Yeah, he's frazzled as all hell because we're 6 minutes away from exploding, which is not enough time to get away from a power source of this magnitude without a ship.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and shit. Okay, something that I was thinking about, but I decided against correctly is if I take my time to prepare, that actually removes 2 intervals during a time challenge. So I'm not gonna do that. That's basically dropping us to 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just for a possibility. Well, not possibility, but for dropping the difficulty by 1.
So
I will
Sorry,
just assist.
Okay.
Difficulty by 1 is hairy. Okay.
So he's frazzled.
Yes, he's frazzled.
Yeah.
Okay. So I approach Chief Cole and I say, might I suggest that in this time I attempt to calm your nerves using Vulcan techniques?
Whatever you say, Captain, as long as I get to keep working on this console.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something that is kind of different from what's on the shows, where the Vulcan mind meld is like face to face. I'm gonna be behind him as he's working, with my hands behind him on his temples.
Yeah.
And I recite the whole "my mind to your mind, my thoughts to your thoughts," and I repeat this, and I try and calm him down as he zeroes in on his work, just to keep him completely unemotional and just focused on the task at hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll have to give me a I guess that presence command, I guess would be that one.
Okay.
I mean, I know that the Vulcan mind meld is an actual like ability in game. I don't know what it does, but
I believe so. However, I'm using it in a different way here.
yeah. So
control and
presence command. I think
presence command. Yeah.
Okay. Presence.
I would say presence or control command, either one, because you're trying to like focus him, whichever one's
okay. And what's the task roll for this? Sorry.
Task roll will be 1.
Okay. Task roll 1, and I guess like my focus is I have team dynamics.
It'd be focus because like you're using your mind meld in a novel way.
Okay.
So my task roll is 2 right now because I'm the sort of initial attempt, and all of this is assisting me. Okay, just making sure.
I have a crazy question for you, Paul.
Yes.
Can I simultaneously look for targeting controls, because I do have faceted attention?
Doesn't faceted attention allow you to focus on something, but also causes you to?
It changes the difficulty. I can read it for you if you want.
Yeah, real quick.
Characters with this talent can suddenly divert their attention to other tasks, leaving their current task in whatever state it was in, and immediately begin work on the second. To many, this may seem undisciplined and unfocused, but to characters with this talent, it is simply an effective way of completing several tasks at once. Whenever this character is participating in a challenge, they may choose to use this talent and attempt 2 tasks simultaneously.
Yes.
The attempt is made against the task with the highest difficulty, which is then attempted using the appropriate pool. Successes are then divided between the 2 tasks. When attempting tasks using this talent, the complication range is increased by 1, and any complications rolled can be from either task as thematically appropriate.
Okay, so you have to be complication range 2, but you could I'll let you do a regular task roll, the two task rolls to help him out as well. And I just need your assist there.
He already did.
Dull.
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
Sure. Can I apply jerry rigging? Because this is like a completely different technology from what we're used to.
Sure, I'll let you do that for this one.
I mean, we've got our 5.
Yes.
More.
You've got your 5. You've got 1, 2, 3,
7.
7. You have 7.
2 momentum.
So 2 momentum plus first one, and you have more than 5 because 5 requires a breakthrough requires 5, even though the difficulty is 5. So that's one breakthrough. So the magnitude is dropped to 2, which means the difficulty's dropped to 4, and you have 5 done. You also still have 7 on the work track. So that's... Oh, no, you have to roll. You have to roll. The magnitude is 3, difficulty is 5, so I think it's... if I remember correctly, it was 3 plus the magnitude, so 6. So roll 6.
Okay.
6. Challenge die.
6 challenge dice. Let's hope the challenge dice thing works this time. Hey, I rolled 6 challenge dice.
Nice. And the deltas count as a breakthrough, anyways. So that would be 2, 4, 5, 1 breakthrough, 2, 3 breakthroughs. 3 breakthroughs.
Yeah. Sweet.
So you are now down. So that's a total of 6, but because the deltas count as breakthroughs, you are now down to 6 on the work track, or and a magnitude of 0, difficulty of 2. So now you have a difficulty 2. Your immediate thoughts of just like fire all the guns and just like trying to like deactivate, all of you working frantically to try to get this done. And Sakir just be like, my mind to your mind, my thoughts to your thoughts on you. On you.
Bob's just kind of standing there, like she's just like, she's calm
holding
to the
her
ship.
organs in right now.
Yeah.
She's calm to the ship, and she's basically like holding herself together, and she's just like, stand by in case we need transport.
Comms don't work.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, shit.
Yeah, the
comms
comms
don't work. She's a little messed up, guys. She's kind of.
Yeah, if our comms worked, we'd be able to repurpose the same trick we used on the Navarian homeworld and just feed this through a different rift to somewhere.
She's probably being poked and prodded by Nagata right now.
Yes, Nagata's just trying to keep you alive while trying to like keep himself alive.
She keeps trying to get up to like go do stuff, and he's like,
no, Commander, no. Okay, so we're 6 on the work track. It's now difficulty of 2. What else do you guys want to try to do? You guys want to keep trying to do the same
I
thing?
see how well this is going. I'm actually gonna break off and go and heal Nagata, who is trying to heal Buster.
You've already done that. You're both healed, but you're not. Are you not doing like long term? You're
Okay, fine. Right.
Yeah.
The human helipede, if you will.
So yeah, with the fingers on the back of his head and like that whole thing, Cole has gone from okay. And he just sort of looks over the system. I'm operating under the assumption that activating all of that stuff did also buy us a little more time.
Yes. Essentially, you still have the timers counting down, but so you still have the time is still going on. You're not buying more time, but you are essentially diverting power to systems, and then some of those systems are activating and then just frying because they're so ancient that they're not working. So like the first time that Terzi was trying to like calculate a firing solution for something in orbit and firing the guns fired this huge like beam extends from the planet, and then it just frizzles out and it's done. Like it can't be used anymore. The firing solutions try to calculate, and then the computer, like the firing computer, just boom, exploded as it was doing so. So like you're using the power, so it's draining the power away, but it's also destroying the systems you're trying to bring up because they're so old. So there's still large amounts of power, and what Anaran's been doing, which has been trying to drain the power, turning the power off, has been working as well. So trying to like deactivate some of the like generators and such like that seem to be feeding the power back into it.
All right. So from our experience, just generally, these rifts, when they become unstable and then close, because the power generation, if I recall, is based on the same technology as the spatial rifts.
Yes.
When the rifts become unstable and close, is that a violent event?
No. They can be, as you've seen in the past when they overload, but they're not naturally a violent event.
So, now that we've drained some of the power away and we're getting a better feel for the systems, I'm looking through and I'm trying to find whatever piece of technology is stabilizing this rift and keeping it open in an attempt to close it.
Okay, since you have the most experience, I'll give you some focus for that one. But give me a reason engineering check for that.
All right.
You have 2.
I am spending both momentum.
And it's a difficulty 2. And you're at 6 on the work track.
Yep.
Hey! That's
Hey, I just totaled our entire party's roll from the last time.
So you get, since it's only difficulty 2, you actually get 5 to the momentum after you've used all those momentum.
Why are we rolling so well right now? I have a bad feeling about this.
So
because it's the beginning of the episode.
Yes. So you manage to come in and start shutting things down. You're like figuring out how to close the rift inside the power generator. Go ahead and give me 2 plus it's 5, so 5 challenge die for this one.
Okay.
Hey.
Rolled 6, but okay.
I hit 5.
I see. It says rolling 5 dice.
You can take the first 5 if you want.
Yeah, I'll just take the first 5. Even then, those deltas count as breakthroughs. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 breakthroughs. So it's 4 on the work track, and you've got 6 on the work track before. You managed to turn it off. We'll just say that. You're just your focus mind, just like, oh wait, I can close the rift, and you just figure out how to and shut down the rift. So it everything just kind of goes back to lights turn off, everything.
Barge screams. Barge just kind of shouts from the distance, "Did you do the thing?"
Oh wait, I need to vulcanize my accent because I'm mind melded right now. Yes, Commander, we did the thing.
Nagata, stop poking me.
I let go.
Does Bash get slightly high from like second-hand effects?
No. She is very much a she's very much a Klingon in this situation.
Thank you, Captain. That was an experience.
I am pleased that it helped.
It most certainly did. And I hit my comm badge since everything's calmed down. It's like, Vasquez, do you read?
I always want to call him
Jumo.
Vin Diesel, but it's wrong. Jumo, yeah. Jumo here. What's up, Chief?
Excellent. And I turn to Skiers like, obviously communications have been restored. Jumo, are there any more energy readings coming from the planet's surface?
No,
I think we've
sir.
disabled this one.
But there are 3 shuttlecraft that seem to be leaving the surface. They don't seem... one's a Federation, one's a Klingon, the other one's a Romulan. They all seem to be coming from your location.
Are any of those the Susquehanna?
No, sir. But I'm still picking up those 2 Starfleet comm badges down there with you.
2 Starfleet comm badges.
Interesting.
That was the one you guys
Klingons here!
You guys will remember that that Paja had several shuttles, which were various different designs that were down there.
Right.
Cutting and running.
So they've already left. We look behind us, and they've already
Yeah,
dusted
you notice
off.
that the guy who actually was escorting you down there, he's gone. He disappeared.
Oh.
He probably bolted the moment it looked like the self-destruct was going to happen.
Yeah.
They all did, yeah. Can we use this device to bring them down? I'm channeling my inner Tersey here.
Dal, I'm going to go ahead and step in as the chief engineer and say we are not turning this back on.
So, GM, how big is this thing exactly? Like, feet, like tall, wide, half.
Like the actual obelisk that has the internal, the thing that was inside of it. It was probably like 30 feet tall. It goes way up into this chamber, and then
Okay.
Didn't you see like there's like the actual chamber around you is maybe like 40 feet by 40 feet and kind of like but it's a hexagon. So
Slightly smaller
Doing
than the one
mental
on the
arithmetics,
Navarian
like
homeworld.
what does that actually mean? It's like
40
10 meters.
foot wide hexagon, 30 feet tall. It's big.
I mean, it's like 10 meters tall and about 12
yeah, about 12 meters square.
wide.
Yeah.
Mm.
It seems
Okay.
perfectly proportional in the size. It was obviously built there, but it's ancient. It looks like exactly like one of the Navaran homeworlds. It looks like the one that you found, Dax and Cole, when you were on your mission. It looks like
I'm
the
basically
one.
Starfleet's resident expert on this technology now, having encountered it 3 times.
Would there be any
God.
way to do an in-depth scan of this now that we have no pressure of the Navarians and any sort of like exterior politics? Would we be able to scan these things thoroughly so that we have information for Starfleet?
Yes, you would be.
And that we also know where exactly is the damn off switch for next time.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
I'm gonna go sit down next to the doc.
Yeah. Sit down. Yeah.
Yes. So for my next action, I look for the off switch.
Give me a reason science. Give me reason science, control science, or reason engineering or control engineering.
Reason
for this.
science for me.
Any of those regular tasks. Difficulty would be 2 since you guys have already. Let's say difficulty 1. Difficulty 1.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna even be nicer. Difficulty 0. There is literally no pressure. You guys are spending your time. So difficulty 0.
I'm assisting. I'm assisting because I already stepped in and told him no.
Yeah,
I fucking jinxed myself, didn't I?
I meant to do one die.
that's fine.
Yeah, just take the
since
first
I
one.
asked,
Yeah.
I guess Darsh could re-roll the 0, like the
Yes.
pink 0, the crit fail, because
Yes.
I was
Okay.
asking about it.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
There we go.
There we go. That's better. So you're able to get 3 momentum. For instance, this is a new scene. The basic scans you can do, you think that you're going to need, like Starfleet's going to need to send archaeologists and like specialists to the planet to start examining this relic, because it's going to take
Right.
years to fully do this. But the basic scans that you're able to do while you're down there and getting help from the Vasquez's computers and such, now that you have no problems, you're able to tell that generally speaking, it's old. You also find signatures based off of what you and Commander Baj already know. You're able to pour through the data pretty quickly and find that there was a Herc settlement nearby based off of this. They may have used this technology,
But not
back in the
created
14th
it.
century, but not created it. Doesn't seem like it like that.
Is it older than the settlement?
It's much older than the settlement. We're talking 2 million years,
Wow.
we're talking, it seems to line up about the same with the, why am I blanking? I always blank on their names.
We just lost somebody.
Nope, I'm still here.
Did we?
There we go. Who was that?
Okay. I don't know. I didn't see anyone losing.
I had to
Oh,
refresh
it's-
my thing.
Okay. Look at, what are they called?
Iconian?
Iconian. Thank you. Iconian.
Iconians aren't that old, though. Was it the preservers?
I'm sorry. About it's not millions of years old. It'd be about 200,000. Maybe 300,000. Anywhere between 500,000 and 200,000 years ago.
That would match up with the Iconians.
Yeah. So that is what you've been able to find out so far. I'll wrap this up and say that Starfleet, which you guys have updated Starfleet lets you know that they are sending a science team to investigate the ruins, and are asking for you to come back to Narendra Station to debrief.
And I guess we didn't find any controls for those fancy little personal gateways that Iconians used.
There's nothing like that. No, there's no. There's
not to look for it.
It's true.
There was nothing like that. I mean, there was no gateways, no Iconian gateways. This is why it seems weird, because it seems similar to Iconian technology. We know that they used transdimensional technology.
Yeah. Could be far older.
But this doesn't seem like anything like the Iconians. Like the Iconians built gateways. These seem just to be obelisks. It seems weird.
Control panels did not seem Iconian with multicolored triangles.
No, nothing like that.
Well, I mean, just speculatorily speaking, the Iconians may not have been the only super advanced race of the time. They could have had enemies of similar technological advancement.
Well, there's always a reason empires fall.
Yes.
So we'll speed it forward a little bit. You guys go back to Narendra Station. You guys have a little bit of time off.
We fix the Pecos.
You fix the Pecos. you
I get my engravings done on the way back.
Yeah.
So now I have... Oh, yeah, for the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually managed to get a little bit of work on the...
Really quick, the 2 comm badges that were on the surface.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. When you guys emerge from there, you see 2 unconscious, tied up Starfleet officers. Both of those Starfleet officers are the officers you were sent to find with the Susquehanna.
And the Susquehanna is destroyed?
They don't know. They beamed down to the planet. When you talk with them, they thought they beamed down to the planet because they saw the alien signal, and they were trapped down there.
Oh.
So they don't know what happened to Susquehanna.
Then.
So
possibly.
Okay.
I take it we get appropriate medical attention on our way back to
you guys are all back to your regular stress levels and that kind of stuff. I'm going to cut a little bit before we get to the next part of the episode, which is Ba'ash, you get called into the Klingon general working in the
station.
The station. He's the other commanding officer. He calls you in, and very briefly, he just says, "Do not speak, Ba'ash. Listen. Your mission is about to come to fruition. Your primary mission. We are recruiting and gathering the forces now. We have found a staging area, an old abandoned station, which we are going to reclaim. From there, you will take our forces to the planet and deal with these heretics. It will take some time, but your captain has been notified as well. Remember, no matter what, you are still Klingon. Do what is best for the Empire. You're dismissed." Kind of waves you off.
Yeah, I just leave. And from there, I go to the bar. Just to think about what the next X amount of time is going to hold, knowing that things are about to start moving.
Sakir, you get a message from the Admiral. It's a very terse message. It just says, The Klingons have begun gathering their forces. We have identified a station, which you will use as a staging point for the assault.
Okay. That was a message, not a direct comm, right?
No, it was a message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a station name, or is that classified?
It's an old Orion station. It's been abandoned for about 100 years.
Okay.
And he the only thing else he says is that we think that there may be elements of the Orion Syndicate in the station still, using it as a staging point themselves. So we're going to have to take it.
Okay, well, the Vasquez is not a warship. Did he mention that we were going with anybody else?
The Klingons will back you up.
Okay.
Also, the Vasquez is a frigate, so it technically is more of an.
It's an
more of a patrol
exploration
ship.
It is, but it's also an exploration ship. She's not built. She's not the Akira class. You know, she's not a Defiant class or Akira class.
Yeah.
She's
Regardless, the Federation is an agency for peace and exploration and science across the verse. Therefore, I will always say that our ships are not
it's
warships.
not warships. Yeah.
The opinions of Captain Secure do not represent the opinions of Jace Tersey. I'm just throwing that out there.
I like it. I like the conflicts between this two. It's very Star Trek and the 23rd century kind of thing. Federation of 23rd century.
Additionally, the rank of Jace Tersey may not reflect the rank Jace Tersey thinks he deserves.
It's true. It's true.
All right. So we're going to speed up a little bit just because this was kind of the end of the last episode. So since about a week or so passes, and since the discovery of the obelisk on Seku 6, you also start. You also find out that they start to search for these obelisks because you've encountered them enough times. They start to look for them more and more often. They have this energy signatures, and they find what they think is not just a settlement like you've found before, but a city that has similar signatures on the second planet of Alpha Torui. There, they have sent a Nova-class starship under the Starfleet Corps of Engineers and some civilian scientists to excavate and examine what they could find on the site. The actual survey has been taking place is kind of dangerous because Alpha Torui is a star which is going supernova prematurely.
Hello.
You've seen this before.
Here we go again.
Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because you get message that your job right now, your next mission, is to extract the researchers at Alpha Torui. The Nova class it is not big enough to hold all of the material that they're pulling out, and they need. You will be able to get there faster and start extracting the sheer volume of scientists that are on the planet.
Is Starfleet aware that we actually reversed such a thing already? I mean, we do have experience with this exact thing.
Yes, that's the reason why they're sending you, but also they know to look for those kind of things, and they couldn't find anything like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is another reason why they're sending you. But other than the caverns which they've been excavating, the other reason why they think that this was a major settlement is because there were orbital constructs around the planet. Now, this planet is a Class B planet. It's not habitable in any way, shape, or form. Mercury, essentially. So they're afraid that bad stuff is going to happen. So they're sending you to go retrieve because you have the cargo space and the capacity to carry all of these civilians with you. Now, in your message, you were not given a timeline with how quickly this thing was collapsing. They don't know. There was just no. They don't have enough sensors on board to figure out what's causing the star to collapse. So in order to figure out,
did they the star regardless? Did they send us data of the star?
They did, yes. So you'll have to give me a reason science with a difficulty 3. Anybody with astrometrics can be focused on this, or astrophysics.
I only have interstellar anomalies.
Can give me
an interstellar anomaly.
It's a stellar anomaly, not an interstellar.
Yeah. That'll give you guys the data so you guys can process it on your way.
Okay.
I think I'm the best at reason and science. But
I was
Captain Secure, if this is a straight command from you, I guess I get the perk of re-rolling zeros.
It is a straight command for me, yes.
I guess I shall do that.
Difficulty 3. So if anyone wants to assist as well.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, the
ship
sensors.
The ship sensors. Yeah. Somebody else should do that.
I have
The ship sensors would have brought the challenge down to 2 from 3 anyway, so we succeeded, haven't we?
Yes,
okay.
that's true.
Yeah, but the ship should still roll. It was science was the thing? I'm assuming
Yes.
sensors science for the ship.
Sensor science, yeah.
Alrighty, and roll.
Hey, you get two
To inertia or momentum.
To inertia. Momentum, yes, inertia.
I think inertia would be a better word for it,
term.
but okay.
Yeah.
But why? Momentum, we keep the game going forwards.
Forward.
Momentum also means torque.
Right, but
so
that's what...
you go over the numbers 3 or 4 times just to make sure. Dull, you figure out that it is the full gravitational collapse of the star will take about 11 hours plus or minus 30 minutes.
Okay.
Evacuation estimates for all of the material and the scientists is projected to take 18 hours.
Okay. And I'm guessing those plus minus 30 minutes also counts for the time it takes for the shockwave to go from the star to the planet. We don't have much leeway there.
Double check this. You're also able to increase the accuracy of the sensor readings, and you're able to find that in the star is inside the star is one of those rifts.
That's what I was actually thinking, because they couldn't find it.
Based off of your stuff, which is what's causing the collapse to happen in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Sigh.
Phi.
Yeah. So we're gonna push you guys in. You guys arrive at the system, and you're able to. I'm assuming that at this point, Cole, knowing that he has to extract a bunch of scientists, has modified all of the ships to be cargo capacity or crew capacity.
Yeah, the 2 remaining runabouts are crew capacity. I've also done everything I can to speed up the transporter system, like not speed the systems up themselves, but to put more efficient.
Once I realized we were so time bound, could I have informed Cole of this and have him sort of at the risk of reducing increasing wear on the engines, bump up speed so we get there quicker?
To try to increase the speed so it can go down there faster and come back up faster.
All right. So my scans are complete after we arrive, not on the way.
No, they're complete on the way. So you're asking.
Yes, while we're on the way, maybe we could increase the speed of the Vasquez to arrive in the system quicker, to maybe give us more time.
You could try it. Give me a control engineering difficulty 3.
All right.
We do have 2 momentum.
And it's up to the captain. If the captain wants to go full warp 9.25 or whatever, I think, which is the full capable of the Narlands class.
Well, lives are at stake, so it is only logical. Therefore, Naran confer with the chief and see if it's possible.
I'm going to spend 2 points of momentum.
Okay.
Would you say the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few right now, Captain?
I would say that something similar is afoot. However, we do not want to incur any fines.
that phrase is copyrighted by the Vulcan.
And it's copyrighted by CBS.
The needs of a bunch of people outweigh the needs of some of them.
Very well put, and in such a way that it will not incur future fines from the Ferengi media.
Alliance, yeah.
So yeah, while tasking most of the engineering crew to repurpose the shuttles or the runabouts, I've got a hand-picked crew of Jensen, Weathers, and the redhead whose name I've already forgotten.
Blue.
It is T. Lishu.
Lishu, got it.
Look at this guy's got her name in his book and heart. So geez.
Dude, notes. They help.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got those 3 helping me basically push the ship to its limit and keep it from exploding while we do it.
That would be good, yeah.
And I'm going to spend 2 momentum.
Okay, difficulty 3. You can give me an assist with the various supporting characters because you're having.
Well,
Jensen
first I'm going to
Waters.
do the ship.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming is engines engineering.
Yes, engines engineering.
Okay.
Hey. So
yeah, I was kind of using the 2 momentum in this case to represent the supporting characters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But to use my stats for it.
Yeah. So you're able to speed the ship up. So you think you can get there, and with about maybe 13 hours is based off your estimates. You were able to shave off about 2 hours. So you have about 13 hours of that 18 hours to do what you need to do. When you arrive, you almost immediately, I assume, will start pulling taking the runabouts out to go collect the scientists and the gear and everything like that, right? That's up to the captain, though.
Well, yeah.
Very well.
Okay.
Engage. Proceed.
So you start using your runabouts coming back and forth, bringing about each runabout can carry about 60 people in full configuration for transportation. For
Do teleporters work?
The teleporters can work. You look down at the planet. The planet is molten. It looks like lava is flowing. It is absolutely scorching. And you around the planet, you see this thick ring of debris, which seems to be orbiting the planet itself.
I'm gonna I would like to scan the ring to see if there's any of this non-Iconian technology, any obelisks inside the rings and not on the surface, because this sort of thing does not happen instantly, like the environment on the planet. So I'm guessing even back then it would have been a hellscape. So the technology wouldn't be on the surface; it would be in orbit.
Give me a reason science. Difficulty 0. Whatever you get.
Difficulty 0.
Whatever you get will determine what I can give you.
1 and 1.
2. So, the wreck is composed of titanium alloys, duranium, polyduranium, all of which are fairly standard for even modern spaceships. The orbit of the wreckage seems to be off the center of the star's mass in a way that suggests that a second high mass object exists, but there is no object being detected where other mass.
Oh, this isn't around the planet, a ring around the planet.
It's around it's around the star.
I see. And it's in about the same distance as the planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wreckage seems to have been gravitationally bound to the strange sensor shadow that's deep in the star. So it's bound to the opening, the
rift,
the rift that's inside the star. And it could this could be the strange mass that's affecting the orbits of the satellite debris, but it seems not to be there. It's just a hole. Now, fast forward, you guys are bringing board scientists. You're seeing scientists. They're unloading their cargo and stuff like that, and you start to see, some of you start to see like some of these artifacts. These artifacts are crystal-like. They have very sharp edges. They come in various shapes and sizes, and the surface of them isn't smooth, nor is there anything that would indicate a function except for a small, sharp-edged channels that run across their surfaces. And when you look at them very closely, the artifacts resemble crystallized metallic meteorites, and even have a faint coppery or metallic smell. And every few moments, if you're looking at them, you'll see a flickering blue light inside the artifact, but none of your sensors will show any activity. Now, as you guys handle it, Terzi, Sakir, and Dahl, as you're handling it, as the light turns on, you hear in your head.
Can I use my telepathic abilities to maybe try to filter out the noise, maybe understand the language? Because
when you do, it gives you a splitting headache. It's it seems really hard to do this. If you want to try to focus on it, you have to give me an inside command with difficulty 1.
Yeah, would like to do that inside command, and I will spend 1 momentum because we have 3.
Can I assist with that in any way?
Well, you have to do it yourself.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's difficulty 1, so.
Command.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems to be. It seems to be coming from the object. You can't determine the whispers. It's just whispers in your head, and it doesn't seem to be affecting anybody else who is non-telepathic. So, Baaj and Cole and Nagata, none of them feel like they're getting any whispers.
I'll turn to Terzi and the captain and say, "Are you hearing this?"
Would I be affected by this? Because I am a Vulcan that's undergone the Kolonar, which means that I am extra resistant to this sort of thing. So would it be like I could hear it, or would it be like there's a knock on the door and I can open it and hear what they're hearing?
You can. It's more like that. You can tell that there is something trying to whisper in your mind.
Right.
When you're holding it.
So, I want to do the opposite of what Dahl was trying. I don't care what it's saying. I'm going to just try and say hello. Back to it. See how it reacts.
It gets louder.
Both visually and...
Yeah, when you try to do that, it goes from to louder and louder, like it's drowning out your thoughts.
Oh, if it's drowning out my thoughts,
ASMR is what's
yeah.
It went from TSMR to ASMR.
So,
how many of these artifacts are there?
Hundreds. They're in
Hundreds
all different shapes and sizes. They're all being unloaded. It's what they've been finding at the location.
Okay.
I got an idea.
Captain, it got louder when I tried to talk to it, which tells me there's some degree of sentience there.
I have an idea. Just a random thought. Could we potentially try to see if we can hook up these to the transporters? See if it's a container for a transporter transporter pattern, maybe? Or is it basically just a loud rock? Because
Lieutenant Terzi just mentioned that as he tried to talk to them, the whispers amplified, which I am. I have a feeling that, or an inclination that this might mean that there might indeed be some sort of sentience involved. It has only been performed once before, as far as I recall, where a Vulcan would try and interface with non-organic life of this nature, but I could attempt.
How did that event conclude?
I forget. I only know that this has happened before.
Meyer would forget, Secure would not.
Secure.
What are we talking about?
Okay, so, I believe Spock once tried to interface with a non-organic thing before.
A rock creature, I believe. That's the one who you discovered it was like a living being.
Something like that.
I'm actually of a mind that these are containers for the spiritual energy of another species, not the species themselves, if you know what I mean.
If I was
if
able
I'm
to...
around when the conversation about the transporter comes up, by the way, I do like. I'm like.
I'm assuming you guys are in the conference room when you're talking about this.
Yeah.
We are in the conference room, yes, and I want Nagata by me. I want Terzi. I want Inarin as well. I'm going to try and mind meld with one of these things to see if maybe perhaps I can get a first-person view as to what's going on in there.
Okay.
Can I somehow, since we're telepaths, can I link up with him to reinforce his telepathic abilities somehow?
I'll go one
Telepathic
further.
conduits.
Yes.
Using your hands, embrace my temples, and you can come in with me if this works.
I would definitely like to do that.
Okay. My mind
I'm
to your
down.
mind. My thoughts to your. Wait.
I mean, I'm wireless. Terzi would have to do it, but if your telepathy requires a contact, then yeah, I guess.
Right, because I'd rather only one of you touch me, because if there is fan art, I would rather not have a human centipede.
I was just thinking about I was about to say this is where the fan fiction starts, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, if any of you makes fan art or fan fiction, please let us know.
Yes, we'd love to see it.
But if it's super obscene, just send it to me and I'll let the boys know if it's worth it.
Perfect.
When things start to go all fuddy touchy, Cole excuses himself to oversee the evacuation procedures.
Okay.
I'm guessing my train of thought about this being a transport pattern buffer container is a dead end.
So,
basically just
Cole's also going to kibosh that because we need those transporters to evacuate people who are alive.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you try to mind meld, and instead of getting thought energy or anything else like that, it feels like just pure. You can't really grasp on it. It has something to do with psychic powers. You're basically trying to force it open, and when you're getting it, it's like a stream of nothing but random. It feels like it's not a thought. It's not a living being. It feels like a computer core that's malfunctioned, but a brain. So it's like you're getting just random thoughts that are coming through, emotions, thoughts. It seems like almost like it was being storing memory of some kind, but the memories don't make sense.
Is it silicon based? Are these crystals silicon based?
No.
Do they seem like they could be put together in a huge three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle?
You don't have enough time. There's hundreds of these artifacts.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So it would seem like whatever civilization was capable of using thoughts and the power of such to create their own technology, and these are locked by a cipher. So telepaths and empaths are not able to just go in without knowing this cipher.
Something like that. It's either some sort of encoding that's going on, or that it's a fragment of memories that needs to have a larger context. Something like that. It will require you could start understanding why the archaeologists are so intent on saving as many of these as they can before the star explodes. Because there's a lot of information from a species that no longer exists that they want to figure out what's going on.
Okay. While the evacuation is happening for these researchers, I go to I excuse myself from the conference room, and I go looking for some of these survivors, and I want to make sure. I want to see. I take an Aaron with me, and I suppose Terzi can follow if he wants to, but
Yes.
I want to know if any of these survivors are in any way anomalous in the way that they are composing themselves. Do they seem normal? Perhaps maybe
they seem normal. Yeah.
Okay.
If you talk with any of them about it, they talk about the potential of these things, like storing living thoughts as information, especially for telepathic species. This sounds fantastic. There's a couple of betazoids and
So there are telepaths amongst them.
yes, who are talking about like imagining being able to store not just thoughts, but maybe your entire consciousness in a crystal like this, and being able to transfer it from person to person, or from place to place. So you can a computer course could be run by people, by consciousnesses, copied consciousness of your own self.
Sounds very
outside of kind of altered carbon thing.
Kind of. They're thinking more
Facts.
like some of them talk about things like androids, like having, because positronic brains are so hard to manufacture. The idea of being able to copy your brain and put it into an android, so that an android would be able to function with one of these things, rather than
in a very
complicated
similar
ways.
way that the EMHs have engrams implanted into them of other people.
Exactly, but being able to store, instead of having an EMH that has engrams, we're talking about an EMH that is a doctor. Like Nagata could copy himself, and then you have two Nagatas that are running around.
Oh, please, God, no.
Yeah, I was just thinking no.
And
Am I the only one on the cast who actually likes Nagata?
Oh, I love the God.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I like it.
On the
I just
cast.
wanted to say it before anybody else.
As a character, you mean? Yeah.
As a character, yeah.
Like your character likes Nagata as the character.
Yes. Oops, sorry.
well, Sakura is incapable of liking people, so there's that.
Terzi just thinks he serves a function, but doesn't really dislike him.
So
That's a
how
very
far-
Vulcan way of thinking about him.
How
Go
far
ahead.
has your research come into this this technology, Lieutenant Commander?
I don't know his name.
Carlson.
Carlson. Yes, he's 4 days away from retirement.
I'm guessing he's partnered
last
up with
game.
an ensign.
He is. They've only barely scratched the surface. Barely scratched the surface of this technology. They've only been there for 2 weeks before the star showed signs of going supernova. They knew it was going premature, but they just didn't realize how quick the stellar collapse was happening.
Okay.
Yeah, basically this is orders of magnitude faster than it's supposed to be happening.
Okay. Well, now that we're near Alpha Terra 3, exactly what's going on with the star, can we tell how far away from supernova are we?
About 14 hours away, and wait, I said
Yeah, when we
was-
got there, we were
was
about
11.
13 and a half hours
13,
away.
yeah.
And we've been spending time evacuating, so we've probably got more like 9 hours.
9 hours or something like that. I'd say 10 hours right now after you've gone through all this.
have said 10 instead of 9.
He said 10. I rely on the goodwill of Paul.
I know Paul. He has no goodwill.
The problem is evacuation procedures are going to take 18 hours.
Yes.
So we can't
Whatever-
possibly
whatever we do,
evacuate
yeah.
everyone.
We
you
need
have
to
about
figure out how to extend the time.
you have about 14 hours left, and at that point, Lieutenant Thompson, who is the commander of the Nova class starship, which is part of the Corps of Engineers, I'm going to call it the Marshu, Marshu, the Marshu. He contacts you, Secure, and explains it's taking too long. We don't have enough time. It's still going to take about 14 hours to get all this everyone off the planet. We have 10 before this thing goes up.
Is there any way at all in order to double our efforts to make this faster and get more people through?
You could try transporters, but the high density of the ions in the system from the dying star are making it very hard for me for our transporter crews to continue to beam up. I'm sure yours are having troubles as well.
Okay.
This is where I finally butt in for a second.
Cool.
Okay.
And I just look at the captain and I just say, what if we were to shut it off?
The star?
Well, what's inside of it?
How would you suggest that? That's a curious suggestion coming from you, number one. What?
It needs to be destroyed, Captain. Perhaps
Destroy
our-
the star?
Not the star.
She's talking about the rift inside the star, Captain. I'm gonna open up a channel, if it's not already existent, to engineering and ask Lieutenant Commander Cole, is there any way we could close the rift or shrink it down to lessen or lower its effect on the star?
Well, without access to one of the facilities like we had on the Navarian homeworld,
which is
it's
why I
gonna be-
was scanning the ring, and I guess I didn't find anything there.
okay. I've got a weird hunch.
I like hunches.
You should get that checked out.
I'll see Nagata afterwards.
You got it?
Very well.
I've got some essential oils that'll help, brother.
I think you're gonna need a scalpel. Anyway. No. The other times we've seen energy buildups like this, not in stars, have been in facilities. What are the chances there's a facility in the star?
I'm trying to crunch some numbers to see just how many zeros that would be.
Scan it for any pockets where the temperature falls.
I mean, we already know that there's, in addition to the energy source, there's some sort of gravitational pull happening, which would infer some sort of incredibly dense material, the kind of
So
material you
there's
might
more-
need to build
oh.
a structure inside of a star.
That makes some sense, although that didn't even occur to me because the amount of this type of technology just is so beyond us. Even we cannot even survive in the corona of the star, let alone at the core where it's pure fusion and millions of gravities of pressure.
How about we take this out of the realm of theory and scan the star?
Can do,
All right.
Captain.
Yeah. Give me a
You don't have to tell me
control
a star
control
is
science difficulty 0.
terrible.
Control science.
Okay, sensor science from the ship.
Yep.
Go enhance sensor package.
Well, get one.
You got 1. That's all you needed. There doesn't seem to be a facility or anything like that inside the star. It's all of the signatures register as a massive rift in the center of the star that seem to be feeding it energy.
So
So-
sometimes a star is just a star?
Yes.
Sometimes
Well, no,
the star
sometimes the
is-
star has a giant rift in the middle of it that's causing it to explode.
only sometimes. With these interstellar,
Didn't we open a rift to an unknown location a while ago?
We made a rift in another star feed on itself to punch energy into wherever that energy was coming from.
well, with these rifts or interstellar eddies, do we know for a fact that there is only ever one entrance and one exit?
No, you don't know that. It could be multiple exits because it seems like it's a dimensional. It's kind of like if you ripped a hole in our dimension and went through a different dimension and then out back into our dimension.
It's witch space.
An alternative option that I could offer, Captain, is perhaps if there are any Klingon ships in the area that are free, perhaps I could persuade them to transport some of these people to the station.
Very well, number one. At once.
And I start looking for...
There's no Klingon vessels that are close enough that will reach you guys in time.
Can
All
we
right.
scan like the rift inside the star? I'm guessing we can't scan it and see where it's connected to.
No, it's
Because the star would.
All you know is that the radiation signatures of the rift is coming from the star, and there is definitely a mass that's inside the star that's causing all those things.
And it's not connected to anything inside the star system, like.
Not that you can tell, but you can also tell that it's feeding energy into the star, which is causing
Yes,
it to expand.
which is why it's causing it to expand. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. For on the subject of speeding up the evacuation procedures with the transporters, half of the time we're using to save every person we bring up from the planet is rematerialization. What if we expand and repurpose the transporter buffers so that we can spend less time materializing, hold people in the buffers until we're able to make safe distance? How much time could that buy us?
Maybe enough.
Oh, I was actually thinking that, like, drop all the security procedures that transporting takes place and just do materialization.
Wait, are you guys basically saying to like hold them in like in a stasis of?
Yeah, I was thinking
Essentially,
hold them in the buffer.
essentially keep them as
Oh.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should hold the artifacts in a buffer and not the beings.
Well, the artifacts are coming up on the shuttles. I wouldn't trust them to run through the transporter with the odd energy signatures that they've got.
Well,
It's been attempted once before. What you're just saying is literally how Montgomery Scott survived to the 23rd century, and it required a lot of power.
For a single person.
Yeah.
But I mean, it did require a lot of power to keep him there for like 70 years. We're talking about maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
Computer,
Also,
play episode Relics of TNG.
I mean, we have time to watch one. It's only 42 minutes.
not for nothing, we do have access to a massive power source right now,
The star itself.
and we can generate eddies.
would there be any way?
Idea. Could we? Yes, Captain. Could we create an eddy to siphon the extra power out of the star?
It has to go somewhere. Well, I was thinking
In the general direction of away. Maybe like the Oort
Nearby
cloud of the
uninhabited
system,
star?
or just interstellar space where nothing exists.
It might
There's
take some
always-
time. We'd
We'd also have to be able to generate it in near the center of the star. That's my barrier there. So we're gonna have to repurpose our systems to allow us to generate an eddy much further away from the ship than we ever have.
How close can we get with the ship without putting too much strain on the shields?
I'd have to run the numbers on that. That being said, if we can also steal some of that power and push it into the shield banks, we might be able to get closer or sustain that distance for longer. As we're siphoning the power away from the star, if we can find a way to patch it into our systems, some of it.
Okay. So you're trying to hold use the star's power to hold the data patterns of these people for longer periods of time.
And also, we're trying to do several things. We're trying to siphon the power from the star to increase our capabilities.
Yes.
To hold pattern buffers.
Mm-hmm.
Increase our shields so that we can be closer to the star to make it easier to steal said power.
Mm-hmm.
And also, any extra power we can, just pump it out into space.
So you're trying to try to increase the time it's going to take for the star to explode. You're also trying to increase the number of people you're trying to pull in.
I was actually just thinking of creating a rift to try to siphon the extra energy that's being pumped into it, just into interstellar space, maybe somewhere.
Yeah. My thinking on that is that the scale we'd have to operate at, we'd be poking a pinhole in a water balloon the size of Jupiter.
Because you're able to create rifts that are about the
Big
same size as the
balloon.
Vasquez, and this thing is the center of the star.
Okay.
Many times larger than a planet.
Yeah, I get you.
We must find a way to make our evacuation more efficient.
Yeah.
But yes, if we can use the power from the star to increase the ship's ability to hold patterns in the buffer for longer.
Thing is, if we have to move closer to the star, we get out of range of the transporters.
I think the idea that you guys are trying to combine them together, where you can form a rift to siphon some of the energy from the star, so that you guys can at a distance, so that you can still gather the energy while doing it. Now the issue is that you're also taking energy directly from a star. It's like it's like
no,
it's
this
like
isn't going to be easy.
It's like
I mean-
trying to
I mean,
take a sip
ships-
with a fire hose on your face and trying
Yeah,
to drink
exactly.
with the water.
Well, we can modulate the size of the rift, right?
Yes, but that would also take
Uh,
it takes energy and power.
It's
So-
a great risk to whom we are evacuating in ourselves.
Which is fine. We can try it. You guys can try it.
Yeah,
It's up to the captain. If
the trade-off is 30% of the people down there die.
Or we all die.
How small?
Oh yeah, that is
can we make
also an
these
option.
rifts?
There is also an option, yeah.
How small can we make these rifts?
I mean, we've seen them as small as the ones that exist in the obelisks on the in the alien facilities. That's where they're drawing their power from, is one of these dimensional eddies.
Would it be possible to fabricate a rift on planet side and then fabricate its sister here on the Vasquez and use that as a transporter?
Like a gate for them to walk through. Oh, I don't know. Oh,
you
boy.
can also do the
Okay.
same thing with this runabout, so you can just
Yeah, I don't know that a human body would be able to withstand the stress of walking through, but if we were to generate a runabout-sized rift in the shuttle bay and one planet side, we could speed up the transport of the runabouts by probably a factor of 10.
Very well. Let's get on it. Lives are at stake.
okay.
All right,
So
let's get to work, doll.
Yeah.
So
Give
that's
me-
the plan we're going with.
yes.
I mean, I like it. I like it a lot.
Give me
It's a lot safer.
a
I will
reason
assist.
engineering task with a difficulty of 2. Now, if you have,
I have quantum mechanics, and I think we
you also
said
have interstellar
those
anomalies. So
those apply to these
Yeah.
things, yeah.
Yeah, my
Well,
interstellar
assist.
anomaly didn't. I thought I swapped out one of my focuses for that.
that's fine. I'll give you that as well, because you also have reverse engineering, so it would account towards this
Yeah.
anyways.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
All right,
you roll,
difficulty
I'll
2.
assist.
Okay.
You got
Hey,
2.
it's what you needed.
All
Difficulty
right.
2. So you're able to shave off probably maybe just enough. Like, you think that by doing this you're able to bring him back much faster, but it's still taking, it's a lot of artifacts, a lot of scientists.
Do
And
we need the artifacts?
the
We're
scientists would,
prioritizing. We're
Prioritizing
prioritizing
people.
human life.
Yes.
Whatever number of artifacts you can fit in a backpack, bring those with you, but there are the maximum number of people on every runabout that comes up from that planet.
So, as
Still
you guys...
struggling to figure out this maze Paul invented. Try and...
you seem to be doing it. So, as you guys finish, are able to speed up the time, Lieutenant Thompson calls you and says, "We're at capacity. We're the maximum number of people and maximum number of stuff we can get, and we're slower than you. We need to get out of here before the star goes."
Very well. We will take care of the rest.
Go.
So they warp out of the system once they get to capacity. Now, as this is happening, as you're collecting more and more artifacts into the ship, those of you even I'll say Sakir is probably the least affected, but Terzi and Anarin, you guys are both. It's getting louder and louder. It's making it difficult for you to focus on your tasks. It's just like just all the time in your head. It's just like it's always in the background. It not even when you're near the artifacts or touching them. It just seems to be building and building and building.
Raj sees this through your body language, and she asks both of you, "Are you both all right? Do you need to go to the infirmary?"
It'll be just as loud there.
I'm going to.
I don't suppose I could use my mental repository talent to build up a wall, like from telepathic incursion.
Has there ever been a way to physically separate telepathic incursion from an organic being? Like in the old Earth media, the Juggernaut, he had a helmet that could prevent a certain Professor Xavier from penetrating his mind.
The result also, I seem to remember this old Earth tale involving Dungeons and Dragons. A certain character called Clarota had a metallic
replicator. Please create an adamantium helm. Thank you.
Computer, please fabricate. Please fabricate.
You're trying to figure a way to block out the signals.
Yeah.
Maybe Nagata has a pharmaceutical
solution
option.
Yeah, he thinks he can
dampen your telepathic abilities.
He thinks he can whip something up for it. Now, as you guys are talking about this, and as the Nova class ship warps off, a pulse just fires out of the star, and just like unexpectedly whops over the planet and the ship, causing it to rock, and it's serious enough that rocks fly out of the bulkhead, the beam that the beam that doesn't exist in all of the other shots now, but now suddenly exists in this shot, falls down and slams into the bridge.
Fiber optic cables all of a sudden appear.
Yeah, exactly. It gets bad. Like the ship rocks and the power fluctuates. Like major damage is rippling throughout the ship.
Computer status report.
And once it passes through, you find out that the warp engines are offline.
Son of a Callas.
You still think you can get the rest of the what you need out, but you don't have warp.
We can't get out of here. None of that matters.
All right. I mean, we've already been using the great effects. Yeah. Can we enter the eddies using our impulse engines?
You need to generate them. You don't have enough power.
I, as a scientist, would know that the average speed of a supernova blast is about 13 to 15 kilometers a second. It's not
African or
super fast. It's
African or European.
definitely European.
But it's not from it. It's from the thing.
It's from. Well, here's the thing, and as you're sciencing properly, the planet is 19.29 AUs away from the star.
That is a lot.
That is a very long distance away from the star. So
It's orbit of Jupiter or something
yeah,
like that?
it's hugely far away. The reason why it was dangerous is because as it was building up, as the star is building up, it's going to go supernova, but it's going to take time for that supernova to reach the location it needs to be. So you have anywhere between.
Can I quickly math this?
19 times 8.
It'll be about
No.
speed of light.
Supernova shockwave is super slow. Though.
Yeah, it'll be about 160 minutes before the supernova shock hits the front reaches of the planet.
Okay, Star Trek physics, I guess, but okay.
Yeah, but the ship, you based off of back of the napkin numbers, you have about 15 minutes before the star implodes. You only have impulse engines, and you don't have enough power to generate another rift.
I have a feeling these artifacts are not doing us any favors.
That is very true. However, the scientists seem to put much stake in them. However, judging by the increasing signal that our telepaths and empaths are receiving, I imagine that the more we get aboard, the more we will truly find out what these things mean.
A catalyst is coming, Captain.
If we can't make a new eddy, can we expand the existing one around the ship?
By the way, I didn't say the warp core is destroyed. I just said it's offline.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the engineering crew is focusing on getting that back up and running if we can.
Okay. Give me a
what my team is
reason
on.
engineering task with a difficulty 2.
I trust you're going to reroute power from weapons and all non-essentials.
Indeed.
If I have to sit out.
Well, the warp core is gone.
Well, you can re-roll one of those.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Hey, it's what you needed.
I directly ordered you to fix it. So
The other one can be re-rolled as well because she's telling you to
Cool.
re-roll it as well. Hey, from double failure to
Double
double
Success.
success.
yeah, double crit. Yeah.
Having
So you
two
have-
command officers is a bit OP.
Hey, but that's exactly what it's meant for, though.
Yeah.
Is like when you're in a situation where you would likely die, it can get saved at the last minute.
Yeah,
Right.
and besides, you can only use it
That's Star
once
Trek.
per scene. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So it's
just
been used.
spent. Yeah.
Technically,
So-
I think Secure has one more.
I have an advisor, so yes, I do have as many as the game master feels I have.
yeah, you have 2, I think, is what it is because you have advisor talent plus you also have commanding officer.
That is correct.
So, 15 minutes left before the star goes supernova. You guys managed to fix the engines and start to go off in you managed to fix the things with like 2 minutes left, 2 minutes before the supernova, and you hit warp and get out. And as you guys do, the star brightens at the same time that it begins to collapse inwards. The images dimming automatically to keep the rare sight in view. Unlike other supernovas, the star doesn't complete its collapse. Rather, it suddenly pancakes out into a brilliant disk with its outer edges touching the orbital debris. Arms spinning, blaring, alarms splitting and blaring from every computer as any ability of your warp field. I know that's the wrong one.
Yes, for the failure scenario.
Yes, that was for the failure scenario. Still sorting through the rescued objects. The glowing disc spreads out towards Alpha Tiru-2, the unimaginable energies of the collapsed star visibly boiling away the outer crust. The entire planet erupts into a neon green lines of tortured space-time. The starship is suddenly thrown sideways as though it was falling towards the events occurring before. Just as suddenly everything stops. There is no stellar remnant, no expanding plasma cloud, no planetary debris. Nothing besides an expanding ripple in space-time.
The rift.
Computer status.
You're thrown out of warp, but you're fine. Basically, your shields have held, but it's a little bit more jostling you around.
Science, where are we and what is happening?
You, based off of your signatures there, Dahl, is you're finding that as it expands, all of the matter and debris was sucked into the rift.
I had a feeling that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
So all that you see is that the expansion out of this disk is just ripples in space-time.
Perhaps the correct question, number one, would be, when are we?
Computer, what date is it?
The right one.
As the supernova unravels, the cargo, storage, and the archaeologist and crew members still sorting through the rescued objects begin to notice glowing streamers of blue light that escape in small channels that run across the surface of them. Sensors don't show anything coming first, but suddenly alerts in the bay began to sound as tricorders and even the main computer began to detect tears and fractures in subspace, leaking through all of the artifacts. These tears begin to quickly heal and are undetectable again after seconds and seconds after that, the glow disappears.
Oh. The memories left us. It's just inert rocks now.
Yeah, are the mental sounds still happening?
No,
Yeah, I was about to say,
all of the
so.
whispers stop once that happens.
Oh, good.
All right. So you finally rendezvous with a Nova class starship. How long have we been
Hey!
speaking, by the way?
I just realized why you chose Nova class.
You finally rendezvous.
Was that Badum?
It was indeed.
You rendezvous with the Nova ship, and you make your way back towards Narendra Station with your artifacts and scientists in tow. And as you arrive, you get a message. This time from what is his name? From Akul, the Klingon captain of the Mopal, whom you were with during the escort when you first arrived.
Episode 0.
Episode 1.
Episode one.
Right.
Yeah. He hails the Vasquez.
On screen.
His face pops up, he's smiling, goes, Captain Sakir, it is good to see you again.
Captain Akul of the Mapal. And you too.
I have gotten orders to escort you to a certain station.
I see. Very well then. Lead the way.
Did we...
You haven't.
Valgame-
You will not yet, my dear captain. Not yet. You will have 1 week to prepare your crew. I suggest you brief them on your mission.
I just look at Sakir and Akul, and then I look at the others like, kind of that, it's time to tell you guys kind of look.
Very well. Is that all, Captain?
Yes. Glory to you.
Live
Glory to
long
you.
and prosper. Secure out.